we should be. I just want to quickly check everything. Okay, we should be ready to go whenever you are. When you're
All right.
ready.
All right, I can just give you a countdown. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, sounds
All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. It's been a little bit of talk about how long the category name for this is. It's 100% reverse boss order, 3-heart challenge. But that seems to just be the thing for Link's Awakening speedruns, as the more popular category by far is any percent, no save and quit, no wrong warps, no out of bounds. There's also 100%, which we call just 100%, but is actually 100% no wrong warps, no out of bounds, which of course means you can save and quit, which is not to be confused with 100% no restrictions. There are some very long and complicated category names for Link's Awakening. Whoop. But for this category, man, this looks so nice in component. I got RCA at home. Man, this looks so good. But if I don't get this screen warper, we're not gonna get off this beach. Yeah. So in this category, we're not going to be restricted as far as movement tech and glitches and things like that. So we're going to use screen warps to get down to the beach. We're going to use the save and quit to go back to town. We're going to be using a lot of the doghouse glitch, which is the next place I'm going. All sorts of neat stuff. That was way too early. And we're coming in this cave. We're going to see a lot of this cave. Not just for the 50 rupees that I need. I may need to get to at least 300 rupees at some point in the run. There's also 3 slimes in there that are very easy to get to and kill. And every time we go, wow, it's going to be that kind of day. Every time we go into the doghouse dungeon or the kennel, well, whatever name you want to pick for it, we have to kill a certain number of enemies before we go in, or things are just not going to work right. And if you've played this game before, this probably looks familiar to you, as we're in Dungeon 2. This is the mid-boss room for Dungeon 1. And this staircase here leads to the back part of Dungeon 1 where Rock's Feather is. And that staircase in particular only works if you defeated 3 enemies. For the rest of the run, we'll be going in with 6, though. And now we have Rock's Feather. We can jump off the wall there with a super jump. Because shack jumping was just not an acceptable name for the trick. Ooh, I went too early. I'll have to go back in. I got anxious. I have to go back in there. Especially without magic powder or anything to light that room up with. You can't get rid of the ghosts unless you're just a little bit more patient than I was there. So that is going to be an extra trip I didn't need to make. Unfortunately. But I didn't have Rock's Feather the first time, so I couldn't grab the magic powder, which I'll be able to get this time. I still don't have my boots yet. See, that would have helped. Yeah, the screen warping in particular only works on the original Game Boy version. They patched it out of the Game Boy Color. Now what you do is you just wait for the ghost to leave and show a little bit of patience. There we go. And that lets you get the bracelet from the treasure chest in Dungeon 2. And I'm specifying it's from the chest in Dungeon 2 because the only real restriction we have in this category is we're not allowed to duplicate items. So even though I never went through the front door of Dungeon 2, and I'm not going to explore most of Dungeon 2, that treasure chest still counts as the one that's hidden away in there. If I go into Dungeon 2 now and do all the puzzles and go into that room inbounds, the chest is already going to be opened. So we haven't duplicated those bracelets or anything like that.
So again, what are the repercussions for stealing items?
If you go back in after you steal, you die. I believe it's even hard code if you have like a Game Shark running or something like that to keep your health up. I think it just forces the game over screen regardless, even. Yeah, you also I don't know what it is in Japanese. I don't speak or read it well enough, but I know in English that your name in game is permanently changed to Thief, and anybody who calls you by name calls you by Thief instead. So before we head on, come up here to the little fishing guy up here and try your hand at fishing. This is the first fishing mini game in the Zelda series, and it's as you can see, it's quite simple. It's not nearly as complicated as Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask even. The only thing I want is this big fat one that's kind of right underneath Link. There we go. And that had a piece of heart attached to him. I'm okay with this. Oh, I can't see chat. I got the monitor facing the wrong way. All right. Oh, I'm going to get boots. Thank you. All right, now you can. You can screen warp in the Kennel World. I've had some bad luck doing screen warps vertically. There's a pretty good chance you can end up somewhere you don't actually want to and stuck inside a wall. So if you decide you want to go play around in here, I wouldn't do too much screen warping. And you have to be careful with this staircase in particular. If you don't hit it just right, instead of taking you up the stairs, it's just going to get you stuck inside a wall that you actually can't walk through, even while out of bounds. But this puts us in Dungeon 3, and I realize there's no music here. Which is good, because what the game is going to try to load in its music is going to sound just awful. Oh, Saving quit too early there. Now, screen warping, that's when I'm opening the map here, moving from room to room. It's not a frame-perfect trick, but for things like that room on the right to get to the Nightmare Key, you have to get it pretty close. Yep, yeah, okay. You have to get it pretty close in order to stay close enough to that outer wall to get on the outside platform. And I'm just grabbing this key for later. Oh, I need the shovel. I need the shovel. There we go. Come on. Has Link always been able to jump in this game? Yes. It's actually the item you get in Dungeon 1 is called Rock's Feather, and that is your jump button. It does, however, require you to have it equipped, so it takes up one of your 2 item slots. Oops. Hello. There we go. And I know that looks like a leaf, but that's actually the Dungeon 3 key. We've just skipped the entire minigame you would normally have to go through. See, now it's unlocked. And I'm going to move on here. And we're going to take one more trip into the Kennel World before we head out to Dungeon 8, which is where we're going to start. 2, so I got to count to 6 all over again. Oop. 3. Wow. There we go. 4, 5, and 6. Now, I think I've talked about somewhat how the Kennel World works, but I didn't really explain what's actually going on. How many shells do I have? Okay, good. The game is trying to put you in this doorway at the front of the doghouse, but you're going through it through the wrong direction, and the game just doesn't have any kind of location defined for going downwards through that doorway. So it kind of just spits you out here. As big as Link's Awakening feels like when you're playing it casually, it's actually just programmed onto 4 different 16 by 16 maps. And we're just on one of those 4 maps, and the tile set, the graphics just don't get loaded properly, as you can see. But that is otherwise how the game map would actually look if you were to look at it in game data. And again, we're going to screen warp right through Dungeon 4 here. The only thing we're here for is flippers. And the nice thing about entering dungeons through the doghouse is when we save and quit, it puts us back out in town. Hello. There we go. And again, just to show off again how small the game world actually is in programming, we're in town now, and now we're in this cave in the mountains, which are not really near each other whatsoever on the world map. Then you can go right back into the Dream Shine to pick up the ocarina. And you only pick up the ocarina in 100% runs now. We replace the ocarina with bombs in any other category. But we'll get into the one bomb glitch later. I only use that one once in this category. Screen warp there. And again, this shrine is nowhere near Crazy Trucy's shop, but it's actually just 2 rooms away in game data. So if you're able to break through the boundaries with a screen warp, it is quite a handy shortcut. Oops. It's actually slightly faster. Let me get the bracelet. To at the beginning of the game, when you grab the sword, to screen warp south from there, to loop all the way up to the warp zone by Dungeon 8, and then use that warp zone later. But since we're doing a 3-heart run, I kind of want the potion just for a little bit of safety. It's not that much slower. Let me grab... I don't remember how to menu in this game. And if you're wondering how we're going to stay at 3 hearts, I did not talk about this at the top of the run. I'm actually playing on a ROM patch for this. Link's Awakening does not let you leave a boss room until you pick up the heart container anyway. So even for the Game Boy Color version, which I believe has some people who run a 3 hearts there, you have to run it on some sort of a ROM patch, or on a patch, in order to stay at 3 hearts. I think for the Game Boy Color version, they've just changed all the boss rooms so you can escape. For mine, I simply made it so that heart containers and pieces of heart don't actually do anything. So we're actually going to pick up all the items, all the heart containers, all the pieces of heart, and we're going to stay at 3 hearts for the entire run. It's not going to be an issue. I'm going to go grab that heart container before I forget it. Ooh. And then we'll head back into Dungeon 8. And again, we're going to use a lot of screen warping to cut out most of this dungeon. This is Blano's room. And we're not even going to use the normal Blano skip. We're just going to screen warp and grab the fire rod and leave again. Do pretty much the same thing we just did. There we go. So we're going to go to the left. And we're not going to pick up the Nightmare Key. We're not going to need that. As you can see, though, when you screen warp, depending on your timing, sometimes sprites and enemies and such will move over with you. That is not the fire rod. That's what I need to use to hit Hothead here. The great thing about 3 heart runs is this guy deals 4 hearts worth of damage if he touches you. So that's great. There we go. He also has some... I don't know if his hitbox is funny or just the way his hit points are coded, but it sounded like I hit him like a ton, but but I don't believe all those hits are actually counting. And if you're very unlucky, it's possible to underflow his hit points, so he has negative hit points until the game just deletes the sprite from the screen, but doesn't mark him as dead. So you're just stuck in an empty room, sad and lonely. To the right. And yeah, we're not actually going to open the Dungeon 8 entrance, but even if we did, the turtle's head there doesn't really have a well-defined hitbox, and you can walk right through it when you wake him up. That is not a bomb arrow, but that's all right. Now it looks like I'm just not quite close enough, so I gotta do a funny super jump there to get outside the cave wall. And again, we're getting here out of bounds, but this chest is actually the one that's hidden away in Dungeon 1, and it's got a magic seashell in it, or a secret seashell, rather. I'll point out where this chest is later, when we swing by where you're supposed to actually go in that room. But it's really nowhere near where we are on the world map either. We just hopped around. Oh, not what I wanted to do. There we go. And these rupees are a little bit extra, but if I end up having to buy a second potion later, that's going to be handy. Now, with this guy, this little demon, I can't remember what his name is, but he's your inventory upgrade side quest here. He gets upset that you wake him up from his sleep, and he curses you by letting you carry twice as much of your ammo. There are 3 rooms like that hidden throughout Koholint Island, but again, being able to go out of bounds means we could get to them all in a row. For whatever reason, also in the Force, you can grab the just the top right corner of those bushes or whatever and throw it like a gemstone. And this is why we skipped this key earlier, so I can pick up and save and quit away. Oops. And, since we have the ocarina, and since we've saved her father, we can actually go back to town now. Too far over. Did the same thing earlier today. Same exact thing. That should be good. Yeah. Should stop trying new things. But we can go learn Song 1 now from Marin. Looks a little bit different if you skip over the loading trigger between the forest and Mabe Village. That definitely don't mash B out of this cutscene, or you get to watch it all over again. There we go. I got all the stuff by the witch's hut, so we can just move on now. Yo, boots. And we got one more after this room. One more upgrade to get. Then we're actually gonna go back all the way back up to the first room, back up by Dungeon 8.
There's a Wonderland going. Run time. Until you try to go. I'm too tired to go. Okay. This is to be expected.
Not quite far enough to. There we go. And just to let me get to this cave without getting squashed first. Just to show off how much of the map we've already explored, and we've only really been into one dungeon. But being able to go out of bounds, especially in these caves, really lets you disconnect the map and skip a ton of overworld movement. Ooh! I can't believe I didn't get hit there. But yeah, all of that screen warping lets us get the Dungeon 7 key by being able to skip this room. And we actually skipped that room anyway, even without going out of bounds. It's called the Rooster Skip. But it's I want to say that's definitely the hardest run, or the hardest trick in a inbound speedrun for Link's Awakening. You end up like leaping over on thin air using the hook shot. And I'm just going to stay there just long enough to show off Luigi's in the game. Mario didn't make it, but Luigi's here taking care of roosters. He's got a little hen house or what have you. And if we were doing the whole trading sequence, we'd see Princess Peach. And we will actually see Wart from Super Mario 2 a little bit later on as well. Most of him, at least. Again, we just left the Rooster Cave in the far northern part of the map. This cave in particular is actually behind the Animal Village, which is in the southeast part of the map. And this cave is back in the forest where we just were to get the Dungeon 1 key and things like that. And that's on the far western part of the map. Alright, looks like I've got the right number of seashells. I was practicing this morning and I missed 2 of them, and I don't know which 2 I missed. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. Because I do want to get 20 seashells. There are 26 in the game. And even though it's 100%, we're actually going to be able to skip 6 of them. Once you grab 20 seashells and turn them in, the last 6 just poof and disappear, and they're no longer there to be picked up anymore. Alright, I swear I'm gonna pick up some hearts in a little bit here. See, there's a Goomba and something that resembles a Kirby. Kinda, sorta. Ooh, they actually, they usually drop fairies. He was stingy today. Yeah. I'm sure they are. That noise is, just pleasant to listen to. Nah, I'm not too worried about dying. I still have my potion. Whoops. Now, we're not actually ever going to use the mirror shield. The only thing I think you really use it for is to get into Dungeon 8, and we've already done that. And I just left the room, but you probably saw if you've played Link's Awakening before, you probably remember the pillars and the cannonball and all the fun puzzles you had to do with that. But you can just screen warp around the entire dungeon and get right to the rooftop. Normally you have to use this big cannonball and drag it around the dungeon to knock down all the support pillars, leading to some fun and fantastic platforming. Since you're not supposed to have the fire rod yet, you can definitely cheese this boss just by hanging out on the ladder and shooting blindly. If you have a little more health and you're willing to risk it, you can actually just come up here try and time your shot so you hit them right about where the ladder is, and then you can just keep hitting them off screen by wrapping your shot around the bottom. But I didn't want to risk it with half a heart. I'd like to hold on to that potion as long as I can. Like Skullman. He does look like Skullman from Mega Man 4. I don't think that was intentional. But there are plenty of other cameos. It wouldn't necessarily be a big surprise if it were. There we go. Now, these 2 heart pieces, this one, if you fall into this room, you might be suspicious enough to kind of dive under the water and check, since it's just a big room full of water. But the next heart piece I pick up, I think is the one that most people, if they're missing one thing in this game, it's this next piece of heart. And I don't know why this one grass tile is here. There's no way to access it except by screen warping, but it's very handy to have. Because it makes that screen warp fairly safe. You can't really get stuck in the wall there because it's a safe tile anyway. But right here is a piece of heart, and I don't know how you're supposed to know to go check that out, other than just blindly searching everywhere for it. That one's definitely easy to miss. Alright, now I gotta try and screen warp into water here, and the timing is just different when you're swimming. Oh, I got it. Alright. Like, I could do it twice, but getting to one screen warp is tough enough. Nope. But we're gonna make our way to Dungeon 6 next. Going right by the shrine there, where you were turning your seashells. I've already got more than, well, I don't have 10, I have more than 5. I have more than 5, so I can't get my, the bonus one anyway. Ooh. I can't quite see the dark. Ooh, hold on. Oh, good. I was able to go back. I can't see which screen name said it, but I definitely like this category for Link's Awakening better than the normal speedrun of this. Ooh, don't do that there. Because you get to use all the glitches that are already here. The mainstream category is very, very restrictive as to what it does and doesn't allow. And this one, I just have more fun running it. Whether or not it's a better or worse speedrun is anybody's opinion, but I like it a lot more. And I've stuck with it. Ooh, don't save and quit. What am I doing? Oof. Come on. Sometimes you can screen warp through that spinny door just right and kind of get 2 rooms out of it for one movement, but my screen warp was not precise enough. And again, we're gonna skip right into the boss room. 1, 2. I don't know if I'm gonna get this 3rd bomb in time. No, we're good. You can get 3 bombs on what's this guy's name? I can't remember this boss's name, but you can hit him 3 times with bombs before the fight even starts. It's very, very easy to do when you come in through the front door, but when you screen warp in from the side, you have to move the pot out of the way, and it just it gives you a little bit less time to pull that off. Star of the new Emoji movie. I cannot believe they're making an Emoji movie. But as you see, Dungeon 6 still isn't unlocked. And that's not part of 100% is unlocking the dungeons. I am going to have to get the key, but that is going to be literally the last item we get. Oh. And these Paragoomers are lethal today. Those bombs hit you even when you're diving underwater, as you can see. It's a nice damage boost if you can get it to push you the right way. Otherwise, especially in the water, that was wonderful. Especially in the water, it can just throw you the wrong way, and it's very hard to turn your momentum around. All right, how many shells am I at now? 11. I should have checked my notes during the cutscene. Wait, nope, I gotta grab this first. Oh, I had to, nah. Do it again. I meant to grab my shovel too. 12. 13. Oh, I've got a little cutscene here. I can go check my notes on, make sure I've gotten all my seashells. But this is the run bomb trick you get in Link's Awakening. It wouldn't be a Zelda game if you weren't doing something involving bombs and glitches. But we're going to use this to skip most of the trading sequence and pick up the the necklace here. Totally a necklace. And Nintendo of America has no idea what else you're talking about, calling it a bikini top or anything. But dropping 2 bombs in a 4-frame window makes the game start whatever special event and cutscene is supposed to happen. So unless you're playing 100%, you don't even pick up, say, the ocarina or anything like that anymore, because you just use bombs for it. Use bombs to knock down the pillars in Dungeon 7 and those kinds of things as well. Alright, where is my seashell count? I don't know if I've spent any part of this game with more than half a heart yet.
2 wolves, very quick. So I can head out.
Oh, wait, no.
Yeah.
I think the trip to Canada's Wonderland is now departing. Oh, well, there was my potion. That's okay. Not a big deal. Oops, 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 oops. That's why I routed it so you can get it early. So I'd have it for most of the run. Just get out of the way. And here we're going to take advantage of the poor little Game Boy, being the somewhat limited system that it is. Link's Awakening only keeps track of 1 hidden room from the sky per room, or 1 hidden item rather. The only item that can be hiding here is a small key. So if you scream up to the left, it turns into a hook shot, because the only item that can be hidden here is your hook shot. And then as an added bonus, and the only way this trick's actually viable, is that if I solve the puzzle again, the small key appears, because I haven't picked it up yet. Wow. And you need a small key in order to get out of the entranceway. 10 seashells at Dungeon 6 exit. I'm still trying to find where I am in my notes. 5 exit. Should be at 13? No, it should be at... No, I'm at 13. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. At least I haven't missed any seashells yet. Yeah, the one thing about screen warping is if you bring all the sprites with you, you can get a little bit of slowdown. Ooh, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That's alright. What I'm going to use for these next 2 rooms, or at least what I'm going to try and use for these next 2 rooms, go away, is the fire rod trick. Might be too far away. This room in particular was giving me fits in practice. There we go. What you want to do is, when you shoot the fire rod, you want to pause the game on a specific frame where the game's drawing it on the screen. And what happens is the game just gets stuck, thinking it has to keep drawing fireballs. It's just stuck on that frame. So the poor Game Boy is going to draw an unlimited number of fireballs until it just runs out of memory and there's no room to draw anything else on the screen, including enemies and other sprites like that. So it lets you clear out a room. Even though we picked up the hook shot, the mini boss was still in there waiting to fight us. So we had to clear out that one room. Then Slime Eel here is just a ton of fun. He has 8 hit points. No matter what you hit him with, he's going to take 8 hits. Level 2 sword, piece of power, whatever you have, it's going to take 8 hits. So when I am able to grab him, I want to get 4 hits in, which is the max, because you want this to be as short a fight as possible, obviously. But you're playing around with a lot of RNG, as you can see. If it goes too far beyond 2 rounds of hitting him, sometimes when you grab him, it'll be a fake, and you can't deal any damage. And the fight can go on and on and on like that. Even if you chase the tail around, you can really only get to 2 different spots fast enough in order to grab him. The window's a lot smaller than you might think. So you don't want that to drag on any longer than it has to. I swear it doesn't feel like that playing, but apparently jumping while you're swimming under there, apparently jumping into the ceiling there makes it go faster. I don't know how much I buy that, but no sense leaving frame. I'm not getting this screen work today. Yeah. You know, you think as much as I run this category, I'd be better at the screen warping, but what did I just do? There we go. Alright, and my route's changed, so let me not save and quit here. Alright, now I don't have a potion. Now I do have to watch my health. I know that looked funny, but I need to screen warp in to get to the left side of the room there. And I know, again, it looks like I was just in here, but as you probably saw, it still had the mermaid scale in here because I hadn't actually finished the trading sequence. So if I had picked up the mermaid scale, it wouldn't magically turn it to the lens of truth. It would just soft lock the trading sequence. I'm not sure what the better phrasing for that might be, but I wouldn't be able to advance the trading sequence. I could do everything else, but I wouldn't be able to finish that, which is part of the 100% category because I need to go get the boomerang. There was a boss there. He was hidden underground, and the fire rod just annihilated him. You can do that same trick with the bow, though. It doesn't have to be the fire rod. Would have been nice if that was a fill up. Ooh. Now, this seashell is just very easy to forget because it's just kind of off in the middle of nowhere. My route for this category used to actually use a wrong warp to land you right in that room, but now I just have to remember to go and get it. Now we're going to be screen warping through the walls here for a little bit. All right, now unfortunately, I know there he is. I knew that little fish was up there, so I'll just walk the long way over. Because it's kind of hard to hit him when he's not really on the screen, but his hitbox is on the screen. He can hit you, but you may not be able to hit him in that situation. There we go. And again, see, we're over over here on this part of the map right now. But you screen warp one time. Now we're over here. The map is much more condensed and compact than you would think when you're playing through it casually. It's 2, 3, 4. It's not bothering me as far as play goes, but when I'm changing screens, I am getting some kind of weird interference on the TV. I don't know if it's showing up on stream or not. It's like the bot. Ooh, I should have just walked over. All right, let me count to 6 again. I should have. Fun fact, I didn't even think about it. There's a fairy right there. 2. I'm upset about that now. Ooh, that didn't count. You have to wait for the sprite to disappear, or it doesn't count towards the total. Just for the fire rod because it has the weird animation on it. That's 5. And 6. And now we'll head to Dungeon 4. But, not really. We're actually going to be able to go right into the boss room. Like so. Ah, you can get a quick dive there. I think I just jumped either too early or too late. Didn't jump at the right time, obviously. But that's it for Dungeon 4. We already got the flippers out of here, so we can just go. Who is lying on the couch? Mash? Okay. Yeah, I don't know everybody's names. He's out like a light though. Come on, get around the corner. And, actually losing time now, having to. Oh no, I didn't even get the jump. Nah, I forgot the jump. If you're in the air slashing your sword during this, you can kind of wiggle Link around a little bit. It's a very minute time save, though. Who's anyone in the room? I'm Thief. This is Chilbo Baggins. It's actually very, very comfy, whatever you want to call that seat. It's actually super comfy. I'm not saving and quitting. What am I doing? I'm using the ocarina. There we go. There we go. And since I have the rupees for it, I'm going to go ahead and grab another potion. Just because dying in like a boss room can lose quite a bit of time otherwise. I know the potion is part of the 100% route. Buying multiple potions is not. If you get one and lose it, I'm pretty sure you don't have to go buy it again. But I'm doing it just so I've got one to have. Hey, that was the wrong way. I tried to screen warp there and I just didn't get it. The only one you really need is this one now. You could use their bomb arrows there, but you can screen warp too. Ooh, jumped right over it. And as you can see, we've only got one piece of heart left, but it's the one that's at the bottom of the well in town. and we're not going to get that until the very, very end of the run. It's the second to last item we're going to pick up. All right, how many seeds do I have? 15. I think I got the right count this time. I don't know which two I forgot this morning. Every time. All right. I don't know what it is with this jump in particular, but it gives me, it's my worst nightmare. I cannot do that little jump. You don't need the boots for it. It's a very easy jump. I just keep missing it. I mean, I could have like all the hearts I would normally have there, and if it's a bad day, it may not be enough. Unless I pull out my boots. Let's see, I'm at 16, right? Yeah, I've got 4 more seashells. I know where they are. So yeah, I don't have to go pick up the backup seashell in here. We can go right to Wart, skipping the signpost maze. And yeah, that's most of the graphics that you would see for Wart and his frogs singing to you. All right, I didn't want to interrupt the amazing song, but you see that pit there in the top left corner? You have to be very careful when you enter this room. Unless you use the staircase, the game will just freeze if you enter from any side other than the top. If you enter on the top left corner, though, you get a special added bonus of you'll break the pit during the singing, fall through, take fall damage, game over. The game will take your 300 rupees, then give you the game over before it gives you the song, and you get absolutely nothing. No song, you lose your money. That's pretty much it. I did grab the key, right? Yeah, got 2 keys. You know what? I don't need... well, all right, we'll just code through it now. I wanted to hold on to that potion, but that's all right. I should have just committed to the fight to begin with. Wait, no, what am I doing? I've already got the nightmare key. Oops, let me get this flock skip. Let me explain this too. You can probably see right when the text box pops up, you get 1 frame of movement. There we go. That you can use to move diagonally between those tiles and squeeze your way in. You can also screen warp. That's all right. Into the boss room. Rather than going through the front entrance to that room. Oh. However, if you screen warp if you go in backwards, the boss doesn't spawn where he's supposed to spawn. He'll usually spawn off screen where you can't touch him. And you have to wait about a minute or so for him to actually get back into a playable area. He's very, very weak to the fire rod, though. You still need to use the sword to split him up, though. But the game's not expecting you to have that yet, obviously. Yes, there are a lot of eyeballs in Zelda games. I don't think that one in particular has shown up anywhere else, though. You know what? I think they do reuse some bosses in the Oracle's games, but I haven't actually played those, so he may show up there. I'm going to use the fire rod here to get rid of the owl, hopefully. Yeah, because he's supposed to spawn here to talk to us and give us this big long lecture. But if we play our cards right, we're actually not going to see the owl at all in this run. No Cape Gamora, no... Do you want me to repeat everything I just said? We don't have to deal with any of that. Yup. Hold on. I didn't miscount, did I? No, we're at 19. And the 20th one is right here. Good, good, good. I have no idea which two I missed earlier. But this is our level 2 sword. Oh no, Elena. Oh no, Elena's here too.
Classic.
Oh jeez.
Well, the best we can do is just move on banner.
Yeah.
The problem is just keep creating new accounts, so we can't even just ban the account.
No. The nice thing about the shrine is it doesn't change your saving quit point. So you can go right back to Dungeon 3, which is where we want to be anyway. I gotta get rid of the owl again, though. And we're gonna head back to the kennel where we haven't been in a while, so we gotta count the 6 to make our way to Dungeon 2. Wow. Nice shooting. Nice. Nice boomerang. It's 3, 4, and 6. Good. Down. Alright, that's fine. You. I believe this is our last trip through here. Wow. Should be our last trip through here, if everything else goes correctly. So we can say goodbye to the kennel roll. And this is the staircase we're looking for. And this puts us in Dungeon 2. Now, if you haven't played this game before, this room in particular is where most of the casual games players I've seen get stuck. You have to defeat those enemies in a certain order to make the chest appear. The game does have a clue. I can't remember where the clue is in the dungeon to tell you to kill them in a certain order, but it doesn't say like kill the bat second or anything like that. It uses the Zelda names for the creatures. So if you don't know the series that well, you can be stuck just because you don't know what everything is. Alright, I've not done anything I wanted to do. I've not done this room remotely the way I wanted to do it. Let's try that again. Goodbye. Let me get the shield. Alright. There we go. That room, I made that room way more complicated than it ever needed to be. Oh, and those bosses just keep coming back. I'm just gonna grab the key. If I'm able to clear out this room, I can screen warp into the next room, but I'm just not doing myself any favors here. We'll just grab the key and make life easy on ourselves. Can actually kind of... Oh. Are you kidding me? Let's see if I can hit him. Nope. Alright. You know what? I don't know if... Yeah, okay. Alright, so it went a little bit off the rails there, but we're making progress again. And you're not supposed to have the boots here, so you can skip all that business with the platforms. And this boss in particular, if you're playing right, if you're playing casual, I guess it's sometimes a naughty word, playing casual, but this boss has a ton of health for a Dungeon 2 boss. You'll have 4, maybe 5 hearts when you get here in a normal playthrough, This guy has way more health than you do. But if you know the speed tech, you can cut out a lot of the phases. You get a wall clip up here and throw the ball out of bounds, and it breaks immediately rather than having to go through that cycle 3 times. You could drop a bomb. Oh, I missed a shot. I'm over here talking too much. I missed a shot. We'll get to see it again, though. Get to try it again. That is why I wanted to hold on to that potion as long as I could. But I get to show off a couple of other things. If you take the Kennel World and you haven't killed anything, it actually just puts you in Gapongo Swamp. So for our purposes, that's convenient today, although normally I wouldn't need to do that. If you defeat one enemy, I can't remember where it drops you, but 2 enemies puts you on a different map entirely than the one we've been using for the speed run. I think I've actually got to kill those Shy Guys and get a key. Yeah, I got a key for this room here. And reset the room and it should drop. There we go. Oof. I don't actually know the fast way over that platform because I haven't needed it for a long time. Oh, I could have despawned him. That's all right. He goes down pretty quickly to arrows too, so you wouldn't have the fire rod even in the speedrun for Link's Awakening, but you would have the bow to take him out quickly with. Now, shush. I don't think I have to solve the puzzle again. Nah, door's just open. All right. Alright, so maybe I'll get to not goof it up this time. There we go. Throw him out of bounds. And you can use bomb arrows, but I'm going to use the fire rod since I have it. And you want to use the fire rod to knock him back into the bomb. And that'll clear out his health. I haven't had it happen to me, but where's the ocarina? There it is. From the position you can get off the knockback, it's possible that piece of heart that heart container can drop out of bounds. And you can't do anything about that except look at it and reset and do the fight again. You can't really wiggle your way over there. Is this Super Nintendo or NES? It's Game Boy. You could play it on a Super Game Boy or Super Game Boy 2 for your Super Nintendo. What am I doing? But right now I'm playing on a GameCube with the Game Boy player. And as far as getting the patch on here to stay at 3 hearts, I'm using a EverDrive. I got cash. And yeah, I know I'm grabbing another potion, but do not want to do the last boss rush twice either. Dungeon 1. Alright, let's come back into town. Yo. Oh, the CDI. Yeah, those are Zelda games. They count. They got Zelda on the title screen and everything. There we go. Uh-oh. I don't know if I got that one too good. Yeah, as you can see, this is the first time I've gotten stuck in a wall like this. If you don't get your screen warp just right, you can't cut through the walls. You'll still get the screen warp, you'll just not be close enough to the edge of the screen to do what you want. Not too bad there though, because you can just jump off and either try again or go around. We'll try it again here though. There we go. See, that's why I grabbed that small key. If I missed that one a little bit, being stuck in the door, you can't jump out of it. Obviously, you can't jump off of a door normally. Now, all you're meant to have here is your sword and Rock's Feather. So you can one-shot this boss with a spin slash with your level 2 sword. Now we've only got 2 more items to pick up for 100%. We're going to pick up the key for Dungeon 6 that we're not going to use. And we're going to pick up the last piece of heart, which should finish the last one. And would normally put us at maximum hearts. But we're not actually going to go to the Armo Shrine to do this. The best analogy I can think of is Chrono Trigger, of all things. If anybody remembers the one warp point in Chrono Trigger that lets you go through the little monster's pantry. Now we're going to be doing something pretty similar here. I don't know if I'm going to... See, again, you got the screen warp off just a little bit, and the sprite didn't stay where it was supposed to. I thought about not doing it, too. Thought about just going one more screen down. It's alright, though. But, it's the last door we're going to go through for the run. See, this is the bottom of the well, obviously. And yeah, that finished up the last hard container. So we're done with those. Yeah, we're gonna cut through the walls again here to go get the Dungeon 6 key. Down one row here, so I don't get stuck in the corner. And again, the fire rod's supposed to be the last thing you get, but if you get it early, you can tear through a lot of the bosses pretty easily. But now we're ready for the last boss, and again, we're not going to leave this house. We're just going to stay on the same map at least. Oops, didn't get the screen warp. I am not, seeing how well everything else has gone, I'm not going to go for the little bit with the bombs. If you spam bombs when you're coming into this room, you can sometimes skip this text, but it also changes the position of where the fight starts. And I know my cue for a quick kill better from this particular spot. But let me get it before I try to explain it, or I'm going to look silly. All right, I only got half of it there. Normally it takes 3 shots from the magic powder to take him down. It's only going to take 2 this time. Depending on how well your little sword wiggle goes, though, you can kind of just time your spin slash and then wiggle your sword in the blob's body. And if you get him locked in place long enough, it'll just wipe out the boss without having to use any powder. This little minigame, this little phase of the boss probably looks familiar. The first 2 shots are freebies, but from this point forward, he can throw fakes at me that I can't actually reflect. So I'm going to keep my distance a little bit. Like that. Ah. Come on, dude. About a year ago, they ran a Link's Awakening speedrun tournament. I think the record was like 14 or 16 fakes there. Wow, I was late on the quick kill. Sadly, I got to the hotel this morning, and my practice save was just gone, so I wasn't able to practice those quick kills. And naturally, I was going to miss both of them, not being able to practice those beforehand. I promise you that looked way better when I was practicing last night, and it just made it look. For the second one, you just want to time that spin slash and be standing in the right spot. And then you just mash the sword button, and you can keep them stun locked in place. This last phase will take either 16 arrows. You can use 16 bombs if you're absolutely insane, but it only takes 1 shot from the boomerang. And then time is going to be when the screen fades to white at the top of the staircase that's about to appear. And time.
107.20.
Was it under? I forgot what estimate I put.
It is under estimate.
Okay, that's good. Because neither of the times I died were particularly great places to die. So there was a lot more backtracking than there should have been. But my PB for this is a 58 something.
I'm late. Where did you die?
I died on the Dungeon 2 boss. As I was saying, it's a lot easier to beat him in the speedrun strategy. It's like, hey, look, you can kill it in 1 shot, or not. I'm just going to die. And I died... Where else did I die? I died somewhere else really stupid, too.
Yeah, leave it behind.
Yeah. But that is it for Link's Awakening.
Lego racers.
Oh, man.